I'm going to read an email that I got from Electronics Web Ring. But I have to get a sound effect ready. Okay. All right.
I get nervous with Ken and his sound effects.
Hey, Ken, question for you and Johnny Dangerously. It's actually Johnny Victory. That's my buddy. That's his real name. He's from the Memphis FSDO. And I got a letter from Johnny Victory. And every time I hear his name, I hear that in my head. He said, I noticed a video the other day from XJet, and he mentioned the new YouTube partner agreement, and it's not optional. Now, the YouTube partner agreement now states that they can monetize, but they can show advertisements on non-monetized channels, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, he goes on to say, but with YouTube taking non-monetized channels, and it will add commercials and keep the revenue. But here is where the question comes into play. Let's say Jimmy uploaded some drone footage of him in nature having fun as a non-107 pilot, but the average hobby flyer. Suddenly, after his video was up for a few months, as he set it to no ads, suddenly YouTube puts an ad on his video. He makes nothing, but wouldn't this then put the video in furtherance of a business, which is the language that the FAA likes to use? The government in general likes to use that. And then in a technical violation since he's not Part 107? That is a good question. Your thoughts on that?
I think the FAA is going to have to figure it out with YouTube. And yeah, I don't know. I think they're going to get a free pass. The creators are not going to have to be concerned about it unless we start to see a slew of, the FAA contacting people with aerial footage with commercials or ads on their videos. And, I guess we're kind of starting to see that a little bit now, but there really hasn't been much of that. And maybe there will be more as they try to enforce the rules a little bit more. But yeah, there's just been kind of a little rash of events, I guess.
Yeah.
FAA.
These things are ever evolving. And so technology is always going to outpace legislation. But in this case, I remember 3 or 4 years ago when I had lunch with another member of the FAA. They actually came and to my door, long story. But they explained to me that, and I asked a similar question, and they used the word intent. Intent is a gray area.
Yeah, huge.
Huge. Yeah. And it's left up to interpretation, which is, you shouldn't have subjective rules because then people can interpret them to serve their own needs. But so according to them, if the original hobbyist posted the video but didn't intend to make money with it, then it's on YouTube's platform. Then they can monetize that. And YouTube has more lawyers than average hobbyists.
Yeah, that's right.
And the FAA too, if it came down to it. So,
officer, I intended to go 65. I don't know why I was going
yeah.
It doesn't work with anything else, so I don't know why it works with the
I didn't intend to stab him 20 times. It just
that's right.
I just got away from me. No, that's a very good question, and it kind of goes along another question that someone asked, and that is, as far as hobbyists sending me their videos, and then I play them on this channel, which is monetized. And so here's how I interpret it for my own purposes. This is what I would say in court, Your Honor. That would be covered under my Part 107. Under my umbrella, under my Part 107, because the person that sent it to me didn't intend for it to be monetized. They're just sharing it with me, but then I am playing it and monetizing it.
Yeah, and they're giving you permission to use it. I mean, they're giving you rights to show it.
Right, and that would be basically like a subcontractor.
Yeah.
Because I can, as a Part 107 pilot, have a non-Part 107 person flying my drone.
Right.
So as long as I'm there as the PIC, the pilot in control, they can fly my drone, and then I can use the footage that they got with my drone on my channel. It's all, you know, the FAA isn't going after people, just to let you know. There's not FAA police. The only way people get caught doing anything is somebody reports them.
Right.
And they have to follow up because they're a government agency.
Yeah. I, without getting into too much detail, I got in a little bit of trouble, you know, not believing someone that posted a video, and I did end up apologizing because I was wrong, because the FAA did contact him, but I really have a very difficult time believing that the FAA is going down in their studio or their office or whatever and hopping on YouTube and searching drone videos and just sitting there watching to make sure that people aren't breaking the rules.
They're not.
Absolutely do not believe that one second. But somebody may be watching and say, hey, you know, this person's flying, you know, 3,000-4,000 feet away. And then now I see him flying over people, and now I see him flying at night. I think somebody should do something. And then they're calling. And so I think definitely we're seeing more people reporting people. And because there's a lot of, you know, people policing the world around them out there recently. And with drones being in the media more, we're seeing that more. So I think we're going to see more of that, especially as remote ID rolls out. And if it allows access to pilot location and all the information to the general public, we're going to see a ton of it, because they're going to be calling the police every other day.
Yeah, they're going to be overwhelmed with it. As an agency, they're going to be overwhelmed.
Yeah, for sure.
But like you said, they're not going after people. But just keep this in mind: if you're doing something wrong and then posting it, you're making evidence available.
Yeah, you're putting yourself at risk for if you're doing something flagrantly wrong. If you're making an honest mistake and you just happen to fly over a vehicle one time and then, you know, just realize that I probably shouldn't do that. I mean, that's okay. But if you're out there all the time doing something that is obviously breaking a rule or many rules, and you're posting it, it's probably going to get seen by someone who's going to report it.
Yeah, so, no agency likes to be taunted. And the FAA, in my experience, and I've had some experience with them, they will call you and they'll be nice. Hey, you know, what's up? Somebody said you did this. I'm like, well, you know, you can explain yourself. They're not going to be like, you know, they're not going to cuff you and stuff you. They're going to talk to you. You will get a warning. You'll get another warning. You'll get another warning. It is a pain in the ass for them to go after someone and get litigious with them. They don't want to do it.
Their job is to educate and just reach out and make sure that people know the rules. I mean, yeah, their job is also to enforce, but they don't want to do that if they don't have to. And I mean, sometimes their arm's going to be forced to enforce the rules, but I think their overall purpose is to educate the public on how things are supposed to be done. So,
you know, they're very much like someone who's trying to dance the razor's edge between consumers and business and the government. You know, they've got to keep it all in balance, because consumers are getting mad about you know, oh, you're flying over, you're filming my girlfriend, and then you know, the business are like, well, we want to send tube socks over to, you know, so they're trying to make everybody happy, and they're really, I mean, they do some dumb stuff. I won't say that they don't. I will not say that there's not some uninformed people within the agency. But for the most part, the people that are dealing with the general public that I've dealt with, for the most part, like Johnny Victory, have been nice and personable and very helpful. Now, it's very much, and I know you can hear that train. I know you can hear that train going by.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Man, that freight train sounds like a tornado. It's very much like when you get pulled over by a cop. If you're like, I wasn't speeding, what are you doing? You blind? Get the hell out of here, you know. Then you're gonna get a ticket, you know.
Or if you ignore them and don't look at them and don't respond to them,
then you'll get more cops behind you. So, you know, just be nice, go with the flow. You know, they've got a lot of stuff coming up. Man, I hope they I hope they back down with that remote ID stuff. Did you hear about the
300?
Yes. Tell us a little bit more about what you heard about that.
Just, it's all rumors, and no one's. I don't know where that originally came from. I saw it on Twitter for the first time, but God, who did say that? Someone stated that they think that they're going to allow 300 feet and below, no remote ID required. And so, if that's the case, it's a win in one way. It's a loss in another way for hobbyists because they're taking away 100 feet from us. But personally, I mean, how I feel, 300 feet is plenty of height for me. And if I can avoid remote ID by staying under 300 feet and not letting the general public know where I am, then I will do it. I mean, I'm happy because that, to me, that is the ultimate, the worst part of the whole thing is allowing, Sally to see where I'm at. And,
yes.
And come and confront me or to have, someone come and steal my stuff or beat me up or whatever, that a lot of those fears are, unwarranted. Most people are not going to come and beat you up and take your stuff, but it's going to happen. I mean,
oh, sure. Anything that can happen will happen. Yeah, and by the way, right. I think it was XJet who mentioned this for the first time, which is strange because he's in New Zealand. Yeah, but he really he keeps track of our FAA rules a lot. So I don't know. Well, the FAA does influence other countries. We set precedent for countries like New Zealand, Australia, the UK, and places like that. But as far as the 300 goes, I, like you, I'd be okay with it as long as if you wanted to, if you needed to, for your business as a Part 107.
Yes.
If you need to breach that, then you would go through a few hoops, like, I don't know, Lance, or requesting permission, or letting if I had to let people know where I was for the brief time I was going to be 300 and above, that's cool. This would be great for the FPV community.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But, all right. Well, is there any other thoughts there, Ashley? Thanks for your contribution.
Yeah, definitely. I think 300. I would also stick to that if that meant that I did not have to do the thing that you mentioned, Russ. Thank you for asking.
All right, and once again, nice. I do have one more thing.
Yeah.
Well, I posted a couple things on Twitter about if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me at 51 Drones on Twitter. But one thing that I found on there was, another drone channel did an interview with an FAA representative saying that if you post aerial footage on social media, that it would be required to have a Part 107. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. And it was a big uproar. And no, that's not true. It's not in furtherance of business, blah, blah, blah. And according to this agent, that is how it is. And so I just emailed the FAA, and I got a response from FAA Steve, and he said, yeah, James is right. If you're going to post on social media, then you're giving up control of your content, and therefore it can be used for commercial purpose. Therefore, it should be Part 107. Well, then one of my followers sent me a message saying, well, I asked the same question to FAA Steve, and here's my response. And Steve's response was the opposite. No, if your intent is to just fly around and get recreational footage, then it is not Part 107. It's recreational. So now this could be a different FAA Steve.
One hand doesn't know what the other is doing. That's
exactly.
That's the problem.
Communicate.
This stuff is so new and ever evolving. But I choose to listen to the person with whom I agree. I'll just say,
exactly.
Well, hey, yes. Steve said.
Second Steve said.
So there you go.
Nope.
Do you have rednecks in North Dakota?
Oh, no.
No? Mm-hmm. No rednecks up there in North Dakota?
Oh, no. Absolutely no rednecks. Oh, no.
Yeah. Hey, we got a lot of rednecks.
Do a thick North Dakota accent for us. Come on. I know you can put one on.
I thought I talked with a thick North Dakota accent. But
there you go. That's good.
Just got to get a little bit closer to Canada, and then we go up and have some poutine, go up and have some caramel.
That's awesome. So
that's for real what y'all sound like up there?
That's what a lot of people sound like. Yeah, we talk like this. It's got a little bit of Canadian and a little bit of Native American accent in there. So, yeah.
It's Amadian.
This video lovingly sponsored by RemotePilot101.com. If you are serious about making money with your drone, whether it be photography or FPV, well, then you're going to need from the FAA a 14 CFR Part 107 certification. And the best place to study for that certification is RemotePilot101.com. Jason Shepard is a pilot and author of 8 best-selling aviation flight training books. And yes, taking tests suck, especially government tests. But Jason breaks it down into 10 easy lessons into little digestible pieces that even someone like me can learn from. And if I can do it, you can do it, by golly. Each lesson is streamlined. There's no fluff. Everything you need to know for the test and nothing more. Plus, it's regularly updated, so if something new comes out, a new regulation, or the FAA just has a mood swing, Jason will let you know about it. As more and more drones are integrated into the United States airspace, the FAA will be coming out with more and more regulation, including things like remote ID and all the other crazy things you've been hearing about. So protect yourself, get the knowledge, become a Part 107 certified drone operator. There's never been a better time to get certified, so get the smarts you need to pass that test at RemotePilot101.com. Use Heron18 to get 30% off. That knocks the price down to $104. Look at that! Boom! Magic time! You wouldn't drive without a driver's license. Don't fly without a UAS license. RemotePilot101.com.